Hey everyone, Plushie here. With the recent rerun of the Kama banner during the Oku main interlude event in JP, some people might ask, is Kama still worth summoning for in 2022? And is she still a good investment for a single target assassin? Now, obviously, I like the servant a lot, and I use her quite a bit, so I just want to share with you my personal experiences with this servant over the years. I know this is a old servant, so her reviews are probably already all over the place, but I haven't done it, so might as well do it, and hope you guys enjoy my personal view on Kama. Now let's briefly go over her skills. So her first skill gives a targetable overcharge by 1 stage and reduces the target by 1000 HP, as well as heals herself for 4000 HP. Her second skill is a permanent guts that revives her with 2000 HP, as well grants her 30% attack up for 3 turns. And finally, her third skill is a 50% MP battery that also gives her crit damage by 20% for 3 turns, decrease enemy charm resistance for 1 turn, and gives her full class advantage against Alter Ego for 3 turns. As for passive skills, Kama has Magic Resistance A, which increases her own debuff resistance by 20%, Riding A, which increases her quick performance by 10%, Independent Manifestation, which increases her crit damage, mental debuff resistance, and insta-kill resistance by 6%, and Love God's Essence, which increases her flat damage by 225, as well as grant herself charm debuff immunity. The magic resistance being 20% is actually pretty good in some debuff heavy fights, which allows her to dodge some significant debuffs that might lose you the game. Riding A increases her quick performance by 10%, which is a really decent effect on a servant that is mainly focusing on quick attacks with a quick MP. And finally, Love God's Essence allows her to ignore charm gimmicks in CQs and boss fights, which in some cases makes or breaks the fight. Finally, her MP is Kama Samohana. It is a single target quick MP that deals damage to one enemy and has an 80% chance to charm them for 1 turn. It also increases her own quick performance for 3 turns depending on her overcharge, which is a pretty good effect considering the more she loops her MP, the stronger the next one becomes. Compared to other SSR assassins, Kama seems to have a lack of damage steroids on the surface. With a mere 30% attack up and an even smaller 20% crit up for 3 turns, she really isn't the most impressive in that department. Add on the fact that she does not have an upgraded MP like Jack the Ripper, MHX, and Assassin Lee, nor does she have the ability to chain Buster Chains consistently like King Hassan. She might seem like she lacks damage on paper. However, due to her ability to loop her MP pretty decently, as well as stack her quick up and generate tons of stars while she's at it, she can hold her own in terms of damage. With her constant barrage of MP and crits, she is definitely no slouch in terms of DPS. A big selling point for Kama is her ability to solo. The permaguts that you can activate on turn 1 to get its cooldown going, paired up with her high chance of charm on her very loopable MP, creates a scenario where her enemies can only move every other turn while she's dishing out massive damage, and by the time she actually gets into a critical condition, her guts would be ready to go. The 5-turn cooldown 4000 HP heal is also deceptively powerful, as when paired up with a heal up command code, it is boosted up to a whopping 6000 HP heal, enough to pull her back from the brink of death after her 2000 HP guts procs. She also completely ignores enemies that also has a charm gimmick, so that is another niche but significant advantage she holds. Of course, the charm lock playstyle is easily shut down by the elusive green man icon as always, but her third skill's charm resist down is able to assist in cases where the enemy simply has high debuff resistance and not complete immunity. Another advantage Kama has is her massive battery. Having a 50 MP battery allows her to fill in farming roles for 90 plus nodes and raids really easily, as well as fast clears for mid-difficulty story bosses. It helps her pop her MP instantly with a 50 MP start CE, such as Traces of Christmas, or help her loop her MP really consistently with MP charging supports, such as Scotty and Castoria. It also makes her Charm Lock playstyle more consistent in both team play and solos, and can save her life in a pinch by delaying an MP. Finally, her unique effect on her third skill that grants her full class advantage against alter egos, meaning that she does double damage and takes half damage from alter egos, is really decent as well. The skill's uniqueness certainly dropped with the release of the Pretender class, however, it is far from irrelevant. The two current Pretender servants we have are Oberon and Hephaestion. Oberon is by no means a good DPS and struggles to deal good damage against non-lawful enemies. Also, his third skill being a really good damage boost shuts him down forever after using it. And while Hephaestion is a really decent Pretender DPS, she is slightly held back by her 4-star stats, meaning that if you have her at lower MP levels, or you're trying to do damage with her face cards in general, you're gonna come up a little bit short. If you can ensure to keep the fight relatively short, Kama is perhaps still the best DPS you got against an alter ego enemy. All her previous strengths allows flexible team comp and fast fights, making your opponents struggle to even live to see the end of the 3-turn duration. Even in solo scenarios against longer fights, she can still control the enemy via her charm looping abilities and buy her some time during the skill's cooldown. Do beware, however, that she takes 1.5 times more damage from alter egos during the downtime, and plans can fall apart relatively quickly if 1 or 2 charms miss consecutively and she takes a couple of heavy hits. Overall, I still think Kama is the easiest to use and most reliable single target assassin there is. She isn't tied down to any playstyle and can function in almost every scenario. Farming cricket nodes, raiding, soloing bosses, min-turning challenge quests, you name it, she will most likely deliver. Even though sometimes her charm does mess with min-turn comps, where the enemies cannot move and cannot kill off your esports servants. So, if you lack a single target assassin to invest in, and you want to taste the power of the beast, I recommend picking her up while you still have the chance. Now once again, I know that Kama is a relatively old servant that hasn't gone through any changes since her release, therefore most people has already known what she can do. However, I still think it is important to clarify some things and point out why I like this servant so much. Simply because of her easy to use skills that are straightforward, to the point, and allows her to shorten the length of the fight, makes her one of the most used servants in the game. Now I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I hope you find it interesting and just a bit helpful if you're deciding whether to roll Kama or not, and wish you all the best of luck when rolling for Kama. And perhaps I will do a review on OG Kiara when her banner drops, so look forward to that. I'll see you guys in the next video.